Hello, everybody. How are you today? How are you today? How are you today? Hello, everybody. How are you today? How are you? I'm happy to be with you. That's right. I'm very happy to be with you guys. And today I thought we would do a few songs. And then I have a special book that I would like to share with you that's one of my favorites. So here are some of the songs we're going to do. One of the songs is a song that we did a week or two ago about a caterpillar. You ready? So this is going to be our caterpillar, our fuzzy caterpillar. The fuzzy caterpillar crawled up on a leaf, spun her little chrysalis, and then fell fast asleep. While she was sleeping, she dreamed that she could fly. And later when she woke up, she was a butterfly. Butterflies. All right, here is another one about germs and trying not to spread those germs. So it's about coughing and sneezing. When you cough or when you sneeze, cover your mouth if you please. Choo! That's the healthy thing to do. Stopping germs is up to you. When you cough or when you sneeze, cover your mouth if you please. Right into your elbow. That's right. Okay, I have another one that is an old favorite that I have liked for years. Mr. Moon. Do you remember how to do Mr. Moon? Where is the moon? Up in the sky, so we're going to point. Mr. Moon, you're out too soon. The sun is still in the sky. Go back to bed and cover up your head and wait till the day goes by. I know that's one of our favorite parts, isn't it? All right. I have a book that I wanted to share with you guys. And I just think it's such a special book. And it's about a family that is going to have a baby at their house. And all of the family members are getting ready for that baby. And it's called Just Like a Baby. When the family found out they were going to have a baby, they were all very excited. Look at that, they're dancing and jumping around. Even the dog is excited. But where will the baby sleep? Father asked. What we need is a cradle. That night, Father started to build a cradle. Carefully he measured, and he sawed, and he hammered. While he planed the boards and sanded them smooth, Father thought about the ships rocking gently in the sea. He thought about the birds rocking gently in their nests and the top of tall trees. After many days and nights at work, Father finally finished building the cradle. He stood back to admire it. The cradle looked solid and sturdy. It looked so sturdy, Father climbed in. Look at that, he's right inside the cradle. There in the cradle, Father rocked gently, back and forth, back and forth. He rested within the smooth, sanded wood, and he slept just like a baby. The next morning, Grandfather came in to see the cradle. "What a fine piece of work," he said. "But something is missing. It needs to be painted." On the inside of the cradle, Grandfather painted red fish in a deep blue sea. He painted elephants and giraffes and zebras. He painted white birds flying across the gold sky. It took him many days, and while he painted, he thought about the land and all the animals that shared this home. Now there would be one more to share it with. After he painted the last bird, Grandfather walked around the cradle several times. The cradle shone with rich colors and magnificent animals. It was so beautiful, Grandfather decided to climb in. Look at that, he's in the cradle too. There in the cradle, Grandfather rocked gently back and forth. He rested within the smooth, sanded wood. He looked at the fish and animals and birds, and he slept just like a baby. Grandmother came in to see the cradle. "This is a lovely cradle," she said, "but something is missing. It needs a quilt." Day after day, Grandmother worked on the cradle, sewing together her quilt. While she sewed the colored pieces of cloth together, she thought about her family. Grandmother made a square on the quilt for each person in her family. She made a square for the new baby. It took weeks to finish the quilt, but when she did, Grandmother laid it in the cradle, and now it looked so comfortable and warm. Grandmother simply had to try it, and she climbed in. There in the cradle, Grandmother rocked gently back and forth. She rested within the smooth, sanded wood. She looked at the fish and animals and birds. She snuggled under the warm quilt, and she slept just like a baby. Brother came in to see how the cradle was coming along. "What a cradle," he said. "But something is missing. It needs a mobile. I will make one." While he worked alone, cutting and gluing and tying on strings, Brother thought about toy boats, model airplanes, and bicycles. These were all good things he knew that would be good for two to share. When Brother was finished building his toy, he hung it over the cradle and he looked at it. The mobile turning above it, the cradle now looked fun to sleep in. It looked so fun that Brother climbed right in. There in the cradle, Brother rocked gently back and forth. He rested within the smooth, sanded wood. He looked at the fish and animals and birds. He snuggled under the warm quilt. He watched the mobile slowly turn, and he slept just like a baby. Mother was getting very excited about the baby coming. She went into the room many times to look at the cradle. "This cradle is beautiful," she said, "but something is missing." Slowly, she pushed the cradle across the room to the window. And as she positioned the cradle under the windows, she thought about the sky. She thought about the soft moonlight and the sweet morning sun. She thought about the stars and the cool night air. Settled under the windows and glowing in pearly moonlight, the cradle was now finally complete. Mother felt it was ready for the baby. She smiled to herself. There, next to the windows, Mother rocked the cradle gently back and forth. She ran her fingers over the smooth, sanded wood. She looked at the fish and animals and birds. She turned down the warm quilt. She watched the mobile slowly turn. She saw the good sky shine softly through the windows, and she felt the baby move inside of her. Finally, the baby arrived. One at a time, everyone in her family held her. They loved everything about her. They loved her round cheeks and her velvet skin. They loved her sweet milky smell. They loved her gurgles and warbling sounds that she made. She was warm and rosy, and she fit easily into their arms. She was a very small person. And then she started to cry. She wrinkled her tiny face and waved her tiny fists. She cried great loud cries. Her family watched in wonder. "What should we do?" they asked. The family took her to her room. Carefully they laid her down, and she stopped crying. There in the cradle, the tiny baby rocked gently back and forth. She rested within the smooth, sanded wood. She looked at the fish and animals and birds. She snuggled under the warm quilt. She watched the mobile slowly turn. She felt the good day shine softly through the windows. And she saw her family circled around her. And she slept, just like a baby. And that's the end, Strangifies. I hope you enjoyed that book. Okay, I will see you again tomorrow, and I hope you have a really good day. I love you all, guys. I love you all very much, and I miss you very, very much, too. We'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.